Playing Bigger, Playing Beautiful, the heart-centered way, where entrepreneurship meets spirituality, explores the intersection of personal fulfillment, spiritual growth, and business success. This podcast delves into the idea that entrepreneurship isn't just about profits or growing small to medium-sized businesses. It's also about embracing purpose, meaning, and inner growth. Each episode features conversations with entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and spiritual practitioners who share their journeys of building businesses that align with their highest values and deepest callings.
I'm your host, Debbie Zita, best-selling author, meditation guide, Australia's leading heart-centered success coach, creator of the 6 Selves model of self-inquiry, and founder of the Heart-Centered Way, dedicated to helping heart-centered humans cultivate more time, energy, money, and wisdom.
Dr. Angela, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Can you please let our audience know who you are and what it is that you do?
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for having me, Debbie. I appreciate your invitation. Let's see. I am a person of many hats. If you were to find me on social media, it would say something like I'm a pastoral counselor and empowerment coach. I am a mediapreneur in that I have a radio show, a television show, a magazine, and a podcast. I am an international women's speaker, a breast cancer survivor, and advocate. And I am just on a mission to leave a legacy that says that I wanted to help women live boldly and live on purpose while honoring their faith. So, but I'm also, just a regular person, like everyone else that, wants to have their favorite ice cream or maybe a little slice of pie after dinner. I'm just a regular person as well. But I love the work that I do, and it really it brings joy to my heart. So I love every day that I'm here.
That's so beautiful. Can you also tell us, with your gorgeous accent, where are you based?
Thank you. So people do many times ask, what is that I hear? So I was born and raised in Virginia. We are based in Long Beach, California. So you hear a Southern drawl mixed with a little bit of palm trees and carefree of California. So it is a beautiful blend that kind of just encapsulates who I am, a person who is just honoring self and trying to be authentic and help everyone else be who they are, no matter where they are in the world. So I like to say, from VA to CA, so from the East Coast to the West Coast, I am just a Southern gal trying to do her best in this world.
How gorgeous. Can you please tell us, what does playing bigger, playing beautiful mean to you?
Ooh, I like that. Playing bigger, playing beautiful. I love that. To me, playing bigger is not allowing yourself to dim your light just because someone else is awesome and amazing in the room. Playing beautiful or being beautiful in what you do, to me, ties into that being authentically yourself, whoever you are, whatever that looks like or sounds like, because someone needs to hear your voice. Someone needs to see your personality, the way in which you are supposed to bring it into the world. So when we are doing all of those things, we are allowed to be these bold women living confidently, living authentically, but we are also just human beings trying to be kind to each other, make our way along this path, and be the best people that we can be. So never play yourself small. Don't dim your light. Don't quiet your voice. Instead, speak when you should, be where you should be, shine as brightly as you can. On my website, it literally says, if I shine my light and you shine your light together, we can illuminate the way for those who cannot see. So do not play small. Be bold, be bright. Someone needs to see that light.
So beautiful. It's reminding me, I've got a Marianne Williamson quote on my wall, which is all about, you play, you're a child of God, you're playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so other people won't feel insecure around you. Yeah. And I'm wondering for me, I go through moments and cycles in my own personal journey and professional journey. But do you feel that as you're aging, that you're stepping more into your wisdom and your authenticity?
I think we do. I feel that, especially as women, we start to kind of walk in that confidence a little bit more, but differently. We are the same, but different. To me, it is when you're younger, you have the audacity of confidence, right? Because you are so glad to be out of your parents' house. You're now an adult and you are going to do things the way that you see them, and the world is going to rotate according to your words. And we need that. We need the fire of the young adult, right? We need their audacity to speak up, to cross the line, to say what needs to be done, to keep pushing us forward, to challenge us a little. However, I think that as we start to age and mature, it's not that our fire burns any less. I think it's just a more intense fire. It may not be as tall, but it's gotten wider. It's gotten more rooted into whatever your cause, whatever your purpose is. It's kind of like barbecuing versus grilling. One is high heat and kind of gets done quickly, and the other is kind of slow and low. Everyone loves the slow and low meat. That's the stuff that you drive miles and miles for, to 3 or 4 cities over, because you want that. And I think that that is the same thing that we realize, not only as women, but as adults in general, that as we get older, we're starting to take the lessons that we've learned along the journey, and we're able to articulate them in a way that not only shows what we have gone through and what we have learned, but it encourages the listener that they too can do what we have done. So, not just the audacity, but the wisdom and the assurance of, I know this road, I've seen this path before, and I know what to do. Even if it isn't exactly the same, I can take those life lessons and maneuver much better.
Beautifully said. Can you please walk us through the early stages of your entrepreneurial journey?
Oh, absolutely. So, my early stages are, it's one of those stories of having to start over. Unfortunately, I started as a pastoral counselor, a small office in a historic building, but I was pleased as punch. I was so excited. I was finally doing exactly what I wanted to do. And I would say about 7 months into that, I found out that I had breast cancer. So, in maneuvering through dealing with breast cancer and being a one person, an independent office, at some point, I simply just couldn't do it anymore. And having to let my clients go and make sure that they were okay was hard, but it was the thing to do. You can't expect people to wait around for you while you're going through your illness. Instead, you want to make sure that they find someone who's going to be able to assist them with what they're going through. So we fast forward through that, and after that ordeal, I hit the ground running again, but with a newfound understanding of what it means to start over, to don't allow the obstacle to get you down. I'm already a self motivating type of personality, but that really allowed me to refocus, to kind of recalibrate. If I'm doing this over, do I do the exact same thing? Or is this a chance to do something a little bit differently and tweak or fine tune those things that I needed to do before. And that's exactly what I did. And it has been smooth sailing ever since. Not that I'm glad that I got cancer, but at least I was blessed to be able to move forward after that and continue to walk this path.
I'm so pleased that you were able to find a silver lining. I've really
Yeah.
witnessed in friends and family that have been through cancer. It can go one of two ways, or we can go into our fear and feel very victimized and lost and overwhelmed. And I'm sure there are parts of that
Yeah.
journey, as well, or parts of that aspect of the journey, or we can choose to go into a place of grace
Oh,
and
of
love
course.
and surrender. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, amazing. How have you aligned your business with your purpose?
Yeah. And oh my goodness. I feel that first we have to ask ourselves, what is our purpose? What is our why? What are we doing? Right? What are we supposed to accomplish with this beautiful life of ours? Now, people have said this different ways. We have a sunrise and a sunset. What do you do with the dash? That line in between the day we are born and the day we become one of the ancestors. What do we do with this life that we are given? um, I believe that when we find out what our purpose is, what our why is, what we are supposed to do, what we are supposed to achieve, what we are supposed to do in our waking moments, it allows us to be the best version of ourselves, whatever that is. I had to tell someone one time, we can't keep telling everyone, oh, everyone should be an entrepreneur. That's not the script
No.
for everyone. Someone is supposed to be a teacher. Someone needs to be a bus driver. Someone needs to be a truck driver. Someone needs to be a judge, an attorney. Like, there's so many things that we can do and so many people that we need in order to make the world go round. So with me, I ask myself, who am I authentically? And it started with a conversation that I had with my then youth pastor. I'm sorry, pastor of my youth.
Mhm.
And I said, hey, I love sharing my faith. I love helping people. I have an ability to listen to people's problems and not judge. What do I do? I'm getting to that point and I have to make a decision. And long story short, there he says, I believe pastoral counseling is what you would want to do. And I said, okay, great. I followed his advice. Love it. So, in my purpose, I want to help people be their best selves. I want to help you get through your obstacle. I want you to be able to move forward with whatever God has planned for you. Whatever your belief system is, though we may differ, I try to find the common denominator, and that is be kind, be loving, be gentle, be a good neighbor, those types of things, right? So if I can help you to achieve those things, then I can help you walk boldly in your faith, thus allowing me to walk boldly in my faith as well. And along the way, can I help you with your business? Perhaps that's what you've been called to do, to be an entrepreneur. Okay, how do you blend your faith with your business? How do you blend your faith with being a mom or
Mm.
whatever it is? And just seeing how can we make sure that you find this beautiful juxtaposition between your faith and who you are in the world. And in doing that, I have seen people go from stuck to unstuck, have their aha moments, and I love it, because I realize that it is not me that is doing that. It is just this awesome and amazing God that we have. Some people may say great spirit, the great I am, whatever you choose to call our creator God. Having that energy, having that force within us, and allowing us to move between the two, it's a beautiful thing. Finding some way to be on common ground, I think, is my main mission.
I love what you're sharing. Thank you so much. It's reminding me, I had a session yesterday with a client and we were talking about co-creation. So she was sort of stuck in a, I guess, a masculine energy of controlling. Just that was, the part of the circumstances, she was on her own, and it was just part of how she had coped up until that point. And then I asked her if she would like to change that and invite
Yeah.
more of a feminine essence to come through and, work with, God, spirit, creator, true source, divinity, whatever we call it. And I'm always very mindful
Yeah.
because I really believe that language is quite powerful. So whoever's listening, please choose the word that resonates the
Yes.
most for you. But it's so powerful when we can co-create with that energy and realize that we're giving, we're also receiving, we're big, beautiful, powerful beings, but we're also a link in the chain as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, it keeps us humble, I feel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It keeps us humbled, it keeps us grounded, and to me, it keeps us looking forward. And you're right, there are so many women, unfortunately, that have had to operate in their masculine energy for so long simply because they just have not had that counterpart, that male person to be um, that partner throughout life or for that particular time being. And when you are allowed to tap back into your feminine energy and just kind of be your best feminine self. I tell folks, if you're exhausted, if you're tired, it's probably because you have not been given permission to rest. You have to give yourself permission to be, a boss babe. You can be very much in your feminine and still be a leader and still be in charge, still be a role model, still be a mentee. So, settle a little bit more into that grace and mercy that we have been given as women, and don't lose that part of yourself. And I think that will definitely help, like you said, just help them calm, find that new balance. And sometimes that's the answer to that missing piece that they've been trying to figure out.
Yeah, and it's also reminding me, it's like we can't sustain the journey if we're stuck in our masculine. The masculine might get us started. It's our momentum, it's the spark of inspiration. And I know I've done this having been through my own health challenges and burnout, but you can't sustain that. If you want to be able to
No.
have a business or a life that is joyful and balanced, well, balance is the key, I feel. It's really being able to say, I'm having a break. I'm eating right
Yes.
now. This can wait. I'll get to that meeting later. So yes, so important. Took me a very long time to figure that out. Dr. Angela, can you let us know, how do you overcome limiting beliefs and embody abundance?
How do I overcome, or
Yeah,
how do I help others overcome?
both. You can answer one or both, whatever you feel
I
too.
think it is okay. Um, I find that with myself,
Mm.
I have to ask, and very much with my client base as well. Who told you that? Who taught you that?
Mm, yeah.
Who showed you that? Right? Perspective. Who told you that you couldn't, that you shouldn't, that you weren't allowed? Many times we are carrying the residue of our past generations, of our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, of our mothers. Sometimes we are carrying the misinformation of our fathers and grandfathers. Whatever it is, a neighbor, a classmate, perhaps you were eavesdropping, didn't understand what you heard, and now you have misinformation nicely packaged and you're running around with it. We have to start to assess and ask, where did this come from? And is it serving me? If it is not serving me, I need to do away with it. The part that I think frightens people is, okay, I'll do away with it, but what do I replace it with?
Yeah.
It is the fear of the unknown. It is the fear of walking in this new sense of reality, of not carrying all the bags around of misinformation, of old information, of outdated resources, tools, and supplies. As we do with the things that we use in our workplace, I feel that we personally have to update, we have to reassess, we have to make sure that our tools and resources are up to date and that we're using them properly, because you can have a pair of scissors and not be using them properly. They're not going to cut too much if you're not using them properly, but they're still a tool. So we have to make sure that the things that we're utilizing are really benefiting not only ourselves, but future generations as well. What I do is what I teach. What I teach is what I have done as well. Now, living in abundance, living in that place of happiness and joy, to me is the must. I have had my chance to live in unhappiness, or my chance of living in scarcity or lack or in fear. In that, I've dealt with breast cancer. I could have, like you said, stayed there, but I chose not to. I chose to understand that my faith tells me, paraphrasing, that there's a plan, there's hope, and there's a future for the reader. I'm the reader. That means it applies to me. So I'm going to walk in that abundance. Now, whatever faith system you happen to believe in, we say, as in heaven, so shall it be on earth, as above, so below. I see the God in me sees the God in you. If we're understanding all of these things, then we must understand that we are operating from the biggest, the best, the most abundant source that we ever could. So, why do we keep choosing to go over there? Don't do it. Stay right here where we are being blessed, where we are able to operate in that abundance, operate in that all knowing. And if we don't know something, it's okay to take a moment or two to learn and to tap into someone else's knowledge base so that we can continue to grow as human beings. And then we can, in turn, teach it to another. And that abundance just keeps growing.
Oh, I love this so much. One of the quotes that I often tell myself, and also if I've engaged with a friend or a family member or a client going through challenges, but it's this too shall pass, because everything is cyclical.
Yes.
It's like we feel when we're in that heaviness that it's never going to end. But what if firstly we
Yeah.
know it will, because everything is transient, nothing lasts forever. So this too shall pass. And also, one of the things I say to myself and also clients and friends is, let's use this to beautify ourselves. We may not be able to change the circumstances, but we can become more beautiful inside our internal world in terms of our patience, our gratitude, our ability to surrender. And then when we come out of this stage and this cycle, and of course we can be even more beautiful. And that's just something that I really, it helps me to get through in those times. Yeah. Dr. Angela, can you,
Oh,
oh, go ahead. You were
absolutely.
just
I
about to
could
say
not agree
something.
with you more.
Yeah.
You know, oh no, I was just saying I couldn't agree with you more there. There are so many quotes, there are so many scripture verses that remind us to use our knowledge to um, rebuff, to refine, to realign, and to take the time to settle, to listen to our heart, to listen to our spirit, to listen to that quiet voice, and to make sure that we are walking in that peace, in that perfect place, right? Because like you said, this will not last forever. Joy comes in the morning. The sun is going to rise. The rain is not going to last forever, though we might think it will. It really does not. So you are so right there. Very mindful information that you're sharing with your client base. I love it.
Thank you. Dr. Angela, what does spirituality mean to you?
Oh, that's a good question. So, as someone who teaches about faith and how we can apply it personally, I like to remind people that there is spirituality and then there is religion.
Mhm.
And for me, the way that I understand it and the way that I teach it is that you may be of a certain religion, the way that you may be of a certain nationality. But who you are and how you operate and how you understand what you do is your spirituality. It is that spirit within us, that connection to God that allows us to connect one spirit to another. Spiritual beings having a physical experience in this world. So to me, spirituality is, what is God doing in me? What am I supposed to then do in this world? So it's not, for me, just speaking for me, it's not necessarily what everyone else understands as the um, Wikipedia understanding or the definition, the Webster understanding of what spirituality is. But for me, it is allowing spirit, it is allowing God to speak to me so that I can be the best that I can be, and in turn, share those whispers with others. Kind of like what we're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
We are allowing ourselves to just share the things that have been given to us, the bits of wisdom, those wonderful little moments that we have been quiet with God when we've been in meditation or on a walk, and the breeze gave us an aha moment, or the birds sound really great this morning, or the dog made us laugh. Like the little things that are allowed to bring us joy. To me, that is the spirituality. The religion is what keeps us in the box. The religion is what makes us point the finger and says that person isn't as good as me. But the spirituality of it all is what says my spirit wants to connect with your spirit because we have God within us.
So beautiful, so beautiful. And it, when I was little, and my background is I came from a minority culture, and I remember hearing, it was, I would grow up with, be a good Christian, or be a good Jew, be a good Muslim. And I remember being very, very little and just really being confused by that statement. And I would hear this voice within me saying, but I want to be a good person. I understand that that's part of the identity, but it was so innate for me at such a young age, to not see us in those labels. And
Yeah.
I understand, now in my 40s, that's very much my authentic self. Is I personally don't really, have a religion. My religion is love, and it's people. And then it's about finding out, well, how can I still respect and honor my lineage, and still have, the friendships and the family connections that are part of what brought me into my existence, right? So it's balancing all of that. But yeah, I
Yes.
so resonate with what you're sharing. It's beautiful. I think